you people watching in the middle of the night, Nino?
No, every term I like to find a bit of a different spot. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And this term, I'm deciding to take the gloves off.
Third time's the charm. Why is that?
Well, a lot needs to be done, and I got 3 months to accomplish it. And I think I've been babying a little bit too much. I've been trying to breastfeed, but I can't produce no milk.
There's been a lot of titty milk talk today, I'll have to say. So you brought what Turner was doing at the meeting today?
Yeah, it changes. Are you familiar with them?
Well, Moss kept saying you were replacing her and she could finally go on vacation or something.
I lit a fire under both of their asses yesterday. I'm sure you probably felt some of that.
When you say both their asses, do you mean Moss and Peter?
Her and Peter's.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The baby gloves kind of came off, and that includes Moss. I was rather transparent about some of my concerns. I think it did a lot of good. As I understand it, a lot of conversations started to happen. Turner is not there to be the new chief. Well, right now he's in my cabinet, and he's going to be kind of like a consultant.
Okay.
I think there's been a lot of gaps, I think some of which we've kind of already talked about over the many weeks. Communication being the biggest one. San Andreas has got something in the water. There's a lot of talking, not always listening. I mean, I do that sometimes. Some got it worse than others. And then the poor case of telephone where something is said and the other party hears what they want, and then they pass on the information and the water turns into sewage.
Yep.
I think those are like two critical areas alongside what is delegation. Things like that, I think Turner can do well consulting in. Once again, how that looks like is still kind of being worked out. Either it's going to be as like an outside consultant in the mayor's office, maybe a little bit more. It's going to be up to, it's going to be how Daisy and Peter want it. But he's coming in as a resource to be used as needed.
Okay. Okay.
Have I been dooming to you too hard?
What does that even mean?
I don't know. That's what was relayed to me.
I'm a big girl, Nino. I can handle adult conversations.
Look, I'm going to be honest with you. I brought up some of the concerns that I saw you dealing with. I think they saw a side of me they weren't expecting yesterday.
How so?
I don't want to go too much into it, right? I made it very fucking clear, but I'm going to be honest. I didn't really give a shit. There was a point where something needed to be said, and I said it. And I'm being a little vague here. You know, this is a me and Chief thing.
Yeah.
But hopefully whatever conversation you two had was productive.
Yeah, it was. I don't want people to think that me talking to you is like me going around like high command when we're just literally just talking. And like you're one of the only people that does call me almost every day. And specific to my job, we'll talk about things, and then some things are just not, maybe they're about the job, but we're just talking, right? Like two people that talk. So yeah, I did mention Nino called me dooming about the election, because you did.
Oh
and so,
my God.
What? What? That's all I said. One thing. Because,
like I said,
like,
water to sewage.
Yeah, that's literally all I said, because I wanted to make her understand, like, first of all, how we even got to talking, because I felt like maybe she thought I went out of my way to seek you to complain, and I am not a fucking complainer that seeks people to like, you know, be on my side for whatever. So I just let her know that you called me dooming. I'm gonna lose the election. Da da da. Whatever. So then I started dooming.
Oh my God!
And that was
no.
it. What? And but then I told her, like, I did tell him some of my frustrations because I had nobody else to say them to. But I also,
that's good.
Yeah. I listen. I laid it out.
Transparency is good.
I did. I didn't lie. I told her,
Okay.
and then she brought up things about that we talked about hiring and firing and whatever.
Obviously, there's a lot more people that I've spoken to, right? And there's a pattern here. I mean, and there's a couple things, and like I said, I don't want to do Daisy injustice, right? There's parts of conversations that are between us, right? Or me, her, and Peter's. But given the fact that I did mention you, I wanted to tell you some of what happened and why it happened, as best I can.
I was definitely like, what the fuck? To myself, what the fuck did Nino say? But then I was like, you know what? It's fine. It's fine. It's, I got this. It's good. I'm not mad. Like, I understand what you did and why you did it. And I
wasn't thinking you were mad. I just wanted to.
No, but I was like, what the fuck? Because of, like being approached and like, oh, you're talking to Nino type stuff. But I know it was coming from a good place. So
you weren't the only individual I brought up. As you mentioned, that the perception of if you are skipping a chain of command to speak to me is not only damaging to your career, but can be perceived by those who are not around, right?
Yeah.
And I know this because I've dealt with this in the past, not with me personally, but those around me, right? And so I know that it can happen. And it's usually a case where someone's like this, you're here like 50 hours a week, right? Understandably, some people may be around a third of that. Perfectly fine. Nothing wrong with it. However, there's a reason why Maxwell gets a lot of pressure. And I'll just, you carry the PD in shift 1 80% of the time. Vivian Gray, also big carrier, right? But I could be on the side of the street. I could drive by a fucking thing. When I give you a call, I know you're in a bench trial with that shooting that I just saw an hour and a half ago, right? I'm observant. The reality of the matter is that I know that whether it's a fucking gang shooting, whether it's like a fucking raid, whatever the fuck it is, more likely than not, you're having to handle it. Some shit happens and I need LSPD command. 80% probability you're the highest capable officer on duty between both departments. The mayor needs to work with the PD, and you are the interface 80% of the time. And as a consequence of that, I don't need to give a fuck what the rest of high command may or may not think is happening, because with all due respect, opinions don't mean shit. Action does. And I'm not blind to deaf. You feel me?
I do.
So when anything is characterized or related, it comes from somewhere to someone that doesn't, I know, see you on a daily basis as much as I do, I don't really give a shit. You feel me?
Yeah.
I don't want you, I know that at a certain point, regardless of, you're an adult and all these whatever, is at a certain point, people like you, whether you realize it or not, the pressure can get too much. You're not the first one. There's a couple people I know who all had the same thing. You need people catching it and constantly communicating. Everything that's needed is there, right? So those are the kind of conversations that brought up. And I needed to use very specific examples because, others in the department may either today or in the future end up with the same, they might be facing the same thing.
Well, I do appreciate that you see, even like I don't ask you to see. I know it's your job, right? And you are around every day. Have more connects than I do, of course. And I do feel like you probably know me better than most of High Command. I mean, I feel like Peters knows me pretty well.
It was a big part of the topic yesterday.
Oh, really? What, Peters?
No. Presence, right? I think a lot of us, a lot changed post-holidays.
You're throwing me off. I can't think.
I highlighted a lot of regressions around the police department. Now, I'm not somebody that's going to hold it against anyone. I think I want to set the record just very straight. Well, Moss and Peters this as well. They are still very much the best people for the job. And they have undergone significantly more challenges than I think any other member of High Command.
Yeah, I mean, I can't compare them to a little bit of the previous High Command. but I know. I mean, I feel like in the beginning, I was constantly defending them to everybody so that they had a chance to like prove themselves. I mean, even Peters, he is something else, but I don't think anybody wanted him as ass chief. But honestly, like the way he stepped up as soon as he got it and just started shutting shit down and standing up for us, you know, I see that shit, but everybody else couldn't see past the dumb shit he used to do, right? And same with Moss. I mean, if I had $1 for every time they were like, oh, some cadet made chief. Are you fucking kidding me? As if they weren't cadets or they could do a better fucking job themselves. It's actually insane to me.
Well, most of them have fucked off now, you know, haven't really done anything of merit.
No, I think some are still here just waiting for their turn, you know?
We're still figuring out that GSR doesn't win you court cases. Some people have tried 3 times over, still keep doing it.
Jesus Christ. They're just waiting for you to be gone so they can, you know, step back into the limelight again. And I just don't give a shit about any of that, you know?
At the end of the day, what I said last night, what resulted in those conversations, it's less about you and more about this PD needs to start stepping it up. And with the shit that I've had to witness over the past week and a half, Saturday being the biggest one, it's clearly when some people aren't around, fucking all the kids, regardless if there's, you know, a captain around, actually 2 captains and a undersheriff, shit will still hit the fan and no one gives a fuck in the county. And, you know, that becomes my responsibility then. And then I got to bring in the heavy hand and provide the solutions. Because the only other alternative is to kick over the fucking scuffed Jenga tower that is the PD and try again. And that's just not realistic.
Right. I get it. Did you mention your way of holding people, you know, to answer? And
I'm going to be honest with you. I've been in meetings for 10.5 hours today. I think I brought it up. Oh my God, you have no idea.
That's so
It
gross.
was actually really good. Turner, I think, worked some magic today.
Yeah?
I am telling you the biggest problem right now, and I think Turner is going to help. Because the thing is, I can say things right, but y'all are never going to know if I'm saying it for some ulterior motive. We've been through so much trauma collectively. But Turner as an outside resource can once again provide a lot of things he said. I you know, I think everyone kind of agreed with is the communication. And even today, it's going to take a while. Some of these problems really require bringing everyone in a fucking room and hashing that shit out. You can't talk to one party and then talk to the other party, especially when you don't know how to communicate. No one can in San Andreas. Everyone's like, well, 95% of us is diagnosed with ADHD.
Yeah, that is fast.
And so, like, it's just not practical. I think other things we kind of concluded on is even when it comes to me communicating with the PD and expectations, it's going to start being written down, right? Here's what I'm expecting. In fact, one of those things on that list is documented decision. And whether it's you, whether it's Peters, whether it's Moss, whether I mean, all too often, some of the most important critical things are not documented. Nobody fucking knows. You know what I mean? Nobody knows. Is it an LSPD? Was a decision made? Can you do this? Can you do that? You know what I mean? And if that's not like ingrained in the managers, in your case, the command, right? And Haya, well, then that's a huge hole on critical things. So I'm not talking like you know, if there's a raid and you need the fucking ID number of the thing, who hires and fires? Was there a decision? Like, what's the call? Like, those are critical components, and there's probably like 8 functions that you guys do that are probably critical. I'm pulling a number out of my ass, but I hope you understand what I mean by that.
Yeah. I am going to mention something about when we update things, you know, unit numbers, etc. It's like, instead of it just being a report, it needs to go straight to the SOPs, maybe like a live updated thing weekly, because there's a lot of things that are not in the SOPs that are things that we just abide by or we've discussed between departments, and that's what we're doing now. Do you know what I mean? But it's not written for the cadets or PPOs to kind of follow unless they've actively been a part of whatever it is, whether it's, oh, now laundromat's 4 units instead of 6, so, you know, you need to break off, or, you know, when we're shooting tires out from a vehicle, what are the guidelines for that? That's not going to be in the SOPs.
And if you're gone for like 2 weeks, how do you know? You know
Exactly.
what? You know what? When the marshal SOPs get updated, that's a really fucking good format that Barrett put together.
Really?
It's
I haven't
very
seen it.
short, and it's only got the big pieces on it.
What is that?
And I feel like y'all's look, this is what I mean by suggestion, right? Is I imagine your SOPs are like 50 pages long type shit. No one's gonna know what's in 50 pages, but there's probably some critical things that should only ever and always be in at most a singular page or a 2-page like sort of thing, and not only acknowledgement when there's an update, but that everyone needs to know that shit back to top to bottom type shit. You know what I mean? There was an example brought up yesterday about like confusion over who's supposed to hire and fire. How do you have autonomy, right? How do you suspend, all those kind of things? And it sounded to me like there was confusion around it amongst many command members, and the SOPs had to be referenced. To me, there's already an issue. You know what I mean? Not because no one knows it, but it's hidden. It's obfuscated.
Because we never fired anybody before.
What?
Let me stop. Sorry.
Yeah. But anyways, I don't want to go into any more detail. I mostly want to just bring up some of the relevant stuff.
I agree. I feel like there needs to be, not even just for like, I guess that's more of like a command book type thing, right? But also I feel like there should be some type of like something like a field book of like, boom, we can just pop it open and this is how you run through dealing with somebody on bail, because I'm going to be like, these are all things that have only been a thing for an extended amount of time, right? So like people don't even know what the fuck to do with somebody on bail. Like, and it's not written anywhere. It's just, we've dealt with it, so we know. But people have no, you know what I mean? If I'm off duty or Aaron's off duty or a certain couple different people off duty, then this, you know, they arrest them, they're on bail, they're not going to know what to do with them.
And I don't necessarily want to workshop too hard, but I feel like these, like even this conversation is probably the kind of things that y'all should be having.
Oh, I know. It's definitely, I told Moss I'm going to start writing shit down, because I'm going to be honest, I squirrel a lot and I have to write things down. Because I have a lot of ideas. But I can't be doing it all by myself. I have a lot, and I, quite frankly, don't want to do everything. Like, and I'm not going to. But I need it to be done.
Is the opportunity.
Yeah. Well, I need it done, right? If people are going to continue to grow and learn how to do things, including their job, I need people to help teach them to do it. And I don't just mean like cadets. I mean officers that don't know how to do certain things, even though they're officers, right? Officers that have never represented themselves in a bench trial. or posted on the docket or written a subpoena for phone records. You know, like there's a lot of things that people don't know how to do, and there's no tools to really. It's a lot. You know what I mean? Like, but I can spit out ideas all day long, but I need somebody helping with the notes, right? It's kind of like when I'm working with Doc, right? He's really good at the paperwork, and like we go back and forth, we balance it. I'll spit out the shit, and then he'll help get it down, you know? But it can't just be on us.
Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Did I get
Absolutely. Spreading of it's always going to be a challenge to get other people to pick up things, right?
Yep.
Enabling folks and then balancing between that and making it like a requirement for the job. I mean, I face those challenges literally every day as well. As crazy as it sounds.
But people signed up to be in your cabinet. What do they think they were going to do? Just look pretty?
Yeah. Fuck around, they find out. Look at Tilly.
What? Okay. I don't know what's going on with you and Tilly. All right, that's you. You know, I'm here. There's rumors.
Well, what's the rumor? I'll tell you right now. She was doing something that was gonna put the entire county in jeopardy, and that's all I can say.
Oh, well, I was talking about the syphilis stuff, but okay.
No,
that's
I don't
know what's worse. Yeah, like.
So I didn't fuck around. I didn't wait for this and that. No, it's just I gave her an opportunity. I gave her a clear directive. You make a choice, or you know what I mean. And she's not the first one. I got rid of someone prior to that.
Yeah.
I there's like lines, right? You cross the line, I'm gonna give you an opportunity. I'm gonna be nice, baby gloves, and then it's just I axe. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, I'm not a what is it called?
A pushover?
I think I'm fair but stern. You know what I mean? Because if you don't have like your boundaries, or like you always, I feel like with everything you do, right? You always need to have that clear red line, right? And if someone's getting too close to it, you know, you start with, the closer you get, you start with nice, and then you got to be a little bit more stern. But if they're just fucking around, it's just boom, right? I had to deal with that with Quantum earlier today. He's on his last leg Friday. If it doesn't come off good, he's, you know what I mean?
Isn't he the one that was supposed to keep Tilly busy for a while?
Yeah, it's just, oh yeah, there was Ajax too. Oof. He saw a side of Nino.
The drill shit.
Yes. Oh my God. You should have heard me lay into him.
Yeah, he lied, right?
Very few people hear that.
Then that just tells me he's a good fucking liar, because he lied straight through his fucking teeth on that phone about, what do you mean? I would never do that. I know. Okay, well, guess what? I haven't called him one fucking time to do anything.
I'll tell you now, since it's past the statute of limitation. I heard the accusation in the PD, right? And I didn't really, I was like, I hate being lied to. If like it's heavy shit, you know what I mean? Like serious shit. Because now I'm forced to, it puts me in a position where I'm going to make bad decisions based on the lie, right? Or defend someone based on their lie, right? And that makes my blood boil if it's serious. Ajax, that thing happened at PD. Okay, whatever, right? Like, he's going to handle it, whatever. PD can handle it, not whatever. And now bear in mind, he was in Pred's cabinet, but we had exhausted like you probably had an idea. We spent night and day protecting, getting Pred out of this mess, right? From the warrant to all these, whatever. So he decides he wanted to meet up with, I think, me and Tilly or something over, actually right here. No, not here, the fucking surfboard place down the way. And out of the blue, he's like, yeah, well, Nino, you know, He's got the fucking deep voice. Yeah, you know,
Oh my God.
I don't know what they're
yes.
saying about this drill, but I would never take a drill. And like, you know,
Super
I hope
deep
you believe
voice,
me. And
holy shit.
I'm just like, why is this motherfucker bringing up this drill again, like out of the blue? And so, and now I wasn't sus. Now I'm sus.
Yeah.
Because like now you just bring this shit up,
Oh,
like
the
out of
guilty
like,
can't
you know what
help
I'm?
it.
I'm like, okay, why? Like, what happened to it? And he kept lying and lying, and then I knew, I'm like, okay, this motherfucker's lying. So I go, I said some shit like, I don't remember what questions I asked him. It's been a minute, but I got him to claim that he was able to. He started claiming that he could change people's parts at Mosley's without the drill, because I had caught him out on a lie. Right. And as soon as I found like an area where I thought he was lying, I started questioning into there and exposed it. And he pretty much started saying like, I don't know, like it's scuff, like, you know. And I told him, you're a fucking liar or whatever. And I left it at that. I then meet up with him again over at the Maze Bank, and the same shit happens. And I'm telling you, I turned that man into a boy. The way I spoke to him, because for me, that lie could have been a waste of me. It could have been a waste of 300 like man hours of our time leading up to, you know, with all the Pred stuff. It could have led to Pred getting unfairly investigated and all that shit. To me, I don't fuck with that shit. You know what I mean? I fucking tore right into him. There's lines to things. I'm not saying you should do the same, but
I agree. It got Bobby suspended, you know, because everybody thought he was fucking lying. That's why I called Ajax to question him. Did he, like, just to hear, because you know how you can tell, like, if I talk to somebody in a roundabout way, I just kind of listen to how they react, you know, like I'm pretty good with that. And I'm going to be honest, I was really on the fence with him. And I just thought, you know what? I'm not fucking coming to you ever again, dude. Because I could, like, he was a wall when I called. Like, I wasn't getting any read from him. So I was like, he's got to be fucking hiding it, you know? And Bobby got in trouble for it. Swore up and down Ajax took it. And I'm like, why didn't you call it in? You know, but it ended up being, you know, he shouldn't have, you know, he didn't have permission to have it anyway. So it was a whole thing.
I think if I remember correctly, he took it. One of his excuses was he took it to fuck around with Bobby and then forgot and kept it or some shit.
So why not tell me that? Like, you know, I even told him, I was like, did you accidentally? No, I gave it right back to him. He fucking told me right through the phone. I gave it back to him. I don't have the drill. I'm not like that. Okay. So you're one of those people. Cool. Good to know. Like, I literally have you working on my car with thousands of dollars worth of parts in it. I don't think so, dude. You know, like I'm not padding your fucking pocket anymore.
And for us, it was worse. It's like, imagine someone in the cabinet.
Well, he said he wasn't in your fucking cabinet. He said, I'm not in Nino's fucking cabinet.
Listen, Pred was in my cabinet. All right. He was like, I put him in office. I kept him in office. Yeah. He did what I asked him to do.
Yeah. It just didn't make sense because you were already like funding our repairs and
shit. But you get what I'm saying, right?
No, I get it. It just didn't make sense monetary wise because he was like fucking over what you had going with the PD and the mechanics by doing that. If he was part of that situation, which I wasn't sure if he was one of your mechanics, but I was like, I'm going to tell everybody in the PD not to go to his dumb ass ever again for anything.
That wasn't the only thing he did. You know what else he did? He somehow convinced the material, like the MOPEC down here, to be giving them materials up north.
Really?
And he couldn't comprehend why I couldn't do that. I mean, I was like, it's extortion. Like, we can't just like magically start donating, like pass the Charity Act and we'll fucking give you. I don't know. Fred was back today.
Oh, I know, Nino.
I am so hoping
He made sure
it
to
was
phone
for
me
what I
today.
think. I hope he runs for sheriff.
Wait, no fucking way.
I tried to encourage him.
That's kind of fucked, okay, for
Why?
him. I just feel bad. Like, what? Like, who
Wait,
the
for
fuck?
who?
The misery. It's misery up there for him. Why would you want him to do that, Nino?
What do you mean he'd actually fix BCSO?
Would he? Or would they all just fucking go off duty and fucking run G6
Good.
until he's
Good.
gone?
How does that change your life?
No, it doesn't. I just feel bad for Pred because of how everybody just shits
can
on
I,
him up there.
Can I vent about this? I didn't. This is one of those things that I
He's
was going to bring up
asking
with
if he
like
can
Peters and
vent.
Daisy, right? This is more of those like, you guys are going to solve it, but I'm going to tell you I'm pissed about it.
Yeah.
This court case tomorrow, the future Hendricks one, you know about it?
Yes, I do.
How the fuck is Aaron being put in a position where she, and this isn't, I know you, do you know she has to go to trial tomorrow, right?
I just found out today, and we have somebody else that offered to go help her, but it sounds like it was all her up until
Yep,
an hour
because
ago.
one of that same fucking dumb fuck is in ICU. Now,
I just found that out too.
here's my problem. I'm going to start by saying Grayson is right from a legal perspective, from a due process perspective, right?
You can take
I'm
it
gonna
out of
hold
emo.
that stance. It's not on him. He's actually doing it by the book. But if you notice, if you ignore some of that and the shittiness that Aaron has to deal with now, almost having to solo this, right? Once again, LSPD saving the day. Well, fucking Blaine County apparently, and tell me I'm wrong here, I noticed Aaron had to put a motion to remove 2 interrogation tapes. Now, if you don't know this, Maxwell, that means this dumb cunt didn't put it in the fucking report.
Oh my
Oh, it gets
God.
worse. It gets worse. You know what that means? Based on yeah, you see where this is going?
Yeah, there's not going to be enough evidence.
Not that it's not enough evidence necessarily, because it's an interrogation with 2 people
I don't even
that
know.
are a part of the incident. There could have been things said in that tape that nobody can know because it doesn't exist.
Thank you.
That is
but-
exculpatory.
So anything said is admissible.
No, it's like that. Okay,
Hold on.
so because that
Discord.
BCSO officer did not put it in the report, and from the docket it says
I need to look at this case. I don't know
fucking
what the
shit
fuck
got pushed
report it
10
is. I
days
know
ago,
it,
right?
though.
And because
Yeah.
those 2 interrogations, one I think was for Jay Hobbs, and the
Search.
second was, I don't remember the guy's name. So Jay Hobbs got a plea deal.
General.
Let me pull it up right now. So I'm
Yeah,
talking
no,
about
I am too. I'm gonna be honest. I haven't read the case. Aaron just vented to me about it today, and we have somebody helping her tomorrow. But I just found out that he's in the ICU as well. Why is there nobody replacing him on that end?
Maxwell, it's worse. She has to remove 2 interrogation tapes.
Hold on, let me see.
From the
Let me
docket.
look at this. Let me look at this. Let me look.
Even
at this.
though one of those people, maybe both, have already
Hold
signed a
on.
plea agreement, Future is still going to trial, and those interrogation tapes may have exonerated him,
Oh. Wait, what?
which means it's exculpatory because nobody knows who knows what's in the tape. Who knows what Future said in the interrogation? Who knows what the second guy said in the interrogation? Robin can literally say that it's exculpatory evidence and they got rid of it. It could not only be a regular mistrial, but in this particular case, it could be mistrialed with prejudice or like dismissed with prejudice, which means Future walk. Now, hopefully that doesn't happen, but I'll tell you right now, as a defense attorney, I would fucking jump into that real fucking fast. and I'd hammer it in.
Officers, search criminal future.
And you know why? Because I'd say, they had 10 fucking days to put the interrogation case in. And you know what the wild thing is? You ready for this?
Broken out of custody.
This already happened last week with Sky Faye in the Flop Dugong case, where there was a mistrial. It was a case at 1 a.m. Eastern or 2 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
It was mistrial?
Yes, it was mistrial a week and a half ago. Because Sky didn't put the Flop's interrogation tape in. A 40-minute interrogation tape. And when Robin brought it up, right? When Robin brought it up, it had to be mistrial because no one know what they said. Sky's reaction was, according to her, right? You ready for this? We didn't think it was relevant. It's not your choice. That's the judge's choice. So it got mistrial.
I didn't even know that because of the whole
rescheduled.
Oh my God.
That's aside from the fact. She actually said some shit about it being like petty or dumb or like that's so like I forgot what she said. The Flop would know. It was what she said. I remember when I heard that shit, like made me fucking want to like just
escaping custody.
Take one of those Marshall tanks and stop blasting at the PD.
What?
Like it was one of those.
I had no idea it was mistrialed over that shit.
Yes. That's why I'm writing the Flop, what is it? The Floppy Nana Act. Because you ready for this? Because Nana, who's also in the ADMC, also had this happen. You ready for it? 3 months ago. You remember when? When Nana Banana was standing trial for murder and that motherfucker left out evidence and then fucking changed all the reports. You remember that shit? So it happened twice. Now, part of that is on the judge's fault because the judge at the time was supposed to actually put in case law and they didn't.
Oh my God.
So as a consequence of what happened with Sky and Flop, I'm now passing legislation that I'm, you know, it was a choice between the Floppy Nana or the Dumb Fuck Act, right? Where it says if law enforcement does an interrogation with a hag charge, you are required to date, timestamp, state who is there, and put it onto the docket. Otherwise, you know what I mean? Like I spoke to Hart about it. The idea is that now we need this Dumb Fuck Act, which pretty much says you need this when you're going to trial. If you have the interrogation tape, it must go in because you can't just interrogate someone and it's just not include it.
Yeah, I literally just did one and included it immediately in my report.
Yeah, it's insane. Who knows what was said? Something could be, because think about it, like as the reason why it's so exculpatory is if, like, let's say you're interrogating me for something, I may say something in that tape that is exonerating me or is like valuable, but you don't necessarily know that. I'm just making statements.
Right.
And my statement, there's no way to correlate that with the other evidence and the defense that might be brought up. Like I say, for example, I'm telling you, I was, you know, like let's say there's a murder case and I'm the suspected murderer, and in interrogation, I'm like, I was getting ice cream on the pier with Michael Rozelle writing legislation, right, or something, and you're like, yeah, fuck you, whatever. Like we got all this other evidence, right? Now it goes to trial, right? And in that trial, I've entered in a receipt for ice cream. You might not even remember I said that. You might have just been like, whatever. But now that receipt plus the tape, I should be not guilty because that was my affirmative defense.
No. Yeah, I didn't even know. I knew the trial happened. I had no idea it fucking mistrialed before it went again and they were found, you know, charged with whatever. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is it? The Nana banana. What?
The floppy Nana,
the
because it happened to Nana
floppy
Banana and it
Nana.
happened to flop.
Got it. Got it. Got it.
Or maybe I'll use the acronyms ADMC and that'll be the name of the legislation.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it could work.
I don't know what the acronym would be for, but
Mm-hmm. So that's going to be interesting tomorrow.
oh my God, Robin's gonna eat this alive.
Oh my God, Robin!
That's why I feel so
hate
bad.
Robin. He is so toxic, but he's so good. And I
He's
don't mean
not.
it in like
Wait,
a
what?
rude. No, I mean it in
He's
like
really good
a
against
good
the
way.
PD, yes.
Yes, but he's a fucking asshole. Okay, he is a fucking asshole to the PD.
You are lucky
but
you haven't
he's
seen me
great.
in trial. If you think Robin is an asshole,
Yeah.
I used to have cops quit mid-trial
Oh my God. Yeah.
and start
No.
saying crazy things.
No, he's good at what he does, and I definitely, yeah, I think he scares people.
You want to
It's
hear one of my
wild.
Speedy, my son? He you know this already, right?
No, I didn't know he was your son. Mm-mm.
You know Lane, my daughter-in-law, not daughter-in-law, sister / daughter
Lane? Mm-mm.
of the the biker gang up in Tremont. Tongue in cheek, not
Yeah.
not serious. Anyways, so Speedy, about
sister daughter.
15 years ago, 10 years ago,
Oh,
had a
fuck.
weapon bench in a rancho up off Sonora Road. He used to own that property, him and a bunch of folks in the Vagos, or maybe this was somewhat post Vago.
Speaking of
And,
small head.
The PD found it, the bench. Inside there was bricks of coke, crates of automatic firearms, AK-47s. And there was like a weapons bench with like schematics for, I don't know, I think some small like SMGs or
I'm
something.
looking at this future case.
Trial of the century, right? Got him red-handed. Property belonged. I think what had happened was like someone was growing weed on the property. They ran in the house. Warrant was created for it. And they found all this, right? I got him off all charges
Plain sight warrant? Is that what it was?
because PD went inside, took 2 or 3 pictures, and put it on the docket. That's it. So
Wait.
I went to trial.
Oh my God.
So I went to trial. Mind you, I wasn't supposed to be the lead attorney. It was 4 other attorneys. I came in to watch, and they go,
Oh, I got
"Hey,
you.
Nino,
Thank
why
you,
don't you
Miss
join in on this?" I'm like, "Okay, fuck it." I freeballed the entire defense.
Miss Desiree, thank you.
I looked at the evidence because there wasn't a lot of it, and I
Got 'em,
made the
boys.
argument with each and every officer that how do you know whether or not it's a prop? And it triggered the fuck out of all the PD because now it wasn't a weird argument, right? Even to this day, people think it was meant to be a weird argument, like a prop, like you know what I'm saying? Like it's
Oh yeah.
it's
I got a gun rack at my house, Nino. It's just a prop.
Kind of. So my argument was, because back then, like
You said kind of.
evidence needed to be of a particular caliber, right?
Okay.
And so I said, "What is this in the picture?" Pointing at what appeared to be a brick of coke. And they're like, "That's a thing of coke." And I was like, "Did you weigh it?" No. Did you give a sample to the lab?
Oh my God, Nino.
Is it coke? Is it sugar? Is it a box? Is it plastic?
sugar?
Couldn't answer, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, next. Was these AKs, did you put it in evidence? Yes. How many were there? 6. Was there a serial number? No. Were the boxes labeled with serial numbers? No. And then I point out that there was serial
Oh my God.
I'm like, did you test this? Did you bring it to the lab? Did you count any of these? You get what I'm saying? And the argument is it was a prop, was never anything other than, did you run it in the lab? Which, by the way, used to be very standard. Because what you would do is you'd bring this unknown, like think about it today, right? You get a bag of Coke, right?
Yep.
You have to bring it to Sama and they run lab analysis. You get what I'm saying?
Yep.
But the PD had just taken 3 photos and posted it up and said, trust me, bro.
They didn't even do ballistics on the fucking guns.
They, you couldn't,
Oh.
but they could have. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, there was nothing done other than taking 3 photos with the
Right.
camera. Let's think it
Like
up.
zero effort.
No.
Period. Put into it.
Two people rage quit the court case.
Oh my God. Because they felt you were they
No,
made
I
it-
think they knew what I was saying. It was so embarrassing.
Yeah.
That was the inference, right? To the point I had to keep on clarifying exactly what was being stated. I think to this day, people still have nightmares of the prop argument.
Yeah. Prop this. Ever get any help on? Nope.
That I'm really good at pissing people off while in there. Because I'll say like lace shit that I know the other party knows, but the judge has no idea about. Because you got to get under the defense of the prosecution.
Yeah.
Right? You get under their skin, they can't think anymore. There's another thing, right? Which is if you could use this, if somebody is, let's say, a series of questions are being asked, right? And they're trying to establish like a foundation, or they're starting to paint the picture really well. You start bullshit objecting. Doesn't matter if you're right or wrong, because what it does is it breaks that person's train of thought. They forget what train of thought they're on. Now they're fucked. Is that making sense?
Yeah. No, it does.
What? Now the judge may not remember. Maybe they were taking notes, but the picture's not there anymore. All of a sudden they're wondering, why do you say objection pizza? Like, what the fuck is that? Like, what does that mean?
I feel like I could handle throwing wild objections.
I can't wait to do law again.
Yeah. You hear Frost got lawyer today? They certified him today.
Wow.
At a court case because he did so well.
I thought you still haven't fired that guy?
Arnold.
Yeah, after
Why?
like,
What did he do?
didn't he fucking do some shit? You were gonna fire him like 2 months ago.
Well, you told me he was trying to fuck you and to tell him to leave you alone or something.
Oh, that one. I thought you meant the other one.
Oh, see, that's why I call him Arnold, because then I feel like I call him Hey Arnold, because then everybody's like, oh, this guy. No, my shift. Arnold. You know, the one that's gay and celibate and tells everybody 12,000 times? That one. Beans on toast one.
You know, one time I was Pred's attorney. Then I found out halfway through the court case.
Not the one that is suing.
No. Actually, never mind. Sorry. It's been a minute. I've taken I don't know. Court's fun. I find it interesting.
So is that your plan after this term? Or are you going to actually open a gang
I'm
up
actually
and,
going to destroy the PD.
Okay, Kit.
hits nothing.
Well, I don't know. We still can't clock on duty.
That's not true terrorism. True terrorism is you get out on patrol and you're scared I might see you run a red light, and whether or not it's going to hit the docket. Keep your eyes on the state announcement. You know, Lieutenant Maxwell, you're being called down for bench.
Yeah, bench this.
No, I think I'm going to... I don't really know. I was joking about being the DA, but...
Oh, that would be so nice.
I would never...
Yeah, I know. It's fine.
No.
We're gross. The PD's disgusting. Even though you're the mayor, listen, I get it. I see you standing on the other side. Okay?
I have to play. I do not.
I get it.
I play.
Politics.
I have to listen to PD crying and people crying, and I have to pretty much manage both sides, right?
Mm-hmm. Listen,
And
I remember the first day I heard you talking in the fucking square about PD this, PD that.
Yeah.
Not knowing PD was in the crowd, okay?
You're acting like you don't have problems with Ruby while she was running the show, and why I made those statements.
You know what's crazy? Is Peter's asked me what's up with me and Ruby today. I literally have no problem.
I just don't know what your problem is. Like, do you see her as competition, or like what's going on?
There's no problem. Nino, I don't give a damn. We're on fucking the same call multiple times to what? How is there an issue? I don't have an issue.
I listen. That's what I've been hearing too. I don't listen.
You know what my only issue is.
You know
with
what you
her?
probably need? I think you two need to sit down and hash it out.
There's no sit down. Listen. That she hasn't done anything specifically to me. Okay, it's when my children, of my shift, come to me.
Oh no, you do that too?
And tell me.
That's why. Oh my God, I didn't know you do that as well.
What are you talking about? Well, that's what they are basically.
That's what she calls her officers.
Who? Ruby?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, Frost tried to say we were besties today, and I said we're
she
not.
Used to months ago.
Okay. Well, when they come to me and tell me how poorly they've been treated by a passive-aggressive command member and that they will never work in another shift again, you're goddamn right. I'm going to be upset about it. And it's not the first, second, or last time that I've heard the same fucking comments. Passive-aggressive, passive-aggressive. And I just don't understand why. Do I care? I mean, yes, but please bring that to my face because I will handle it. Do you know what I mean? I have no problem handling passive aggressive because I give it right back. The issue is it's not usually to my face. So I don't specifically see it. Yeah, I mean, I have my own opinions based on my own experiences with her. I'm just not going to say anything, but I'm just going to let you know I have my own opinions. And that doesn't mean that I don't like somebody. I just think that other people do a better job at certain things. You know?
I do.
She's a good officer, but I don't think she's a good ass chief. You know what I mean?
No, neither did I. That's why Vivian didn't become chief. You meant lieutenant. Which, by the way, I think Vivian's great.
She is.
It's unfortunate,
It is. I honestly, I told her when I heard the whole thing about her not getting chief, because that was, it was a big deal. Kind of rumors in the hallway, and Nino promised up until the last second, and Nino swiped it from under her.
Can I be honest with you?
Mm-hmm.
Those rumors never should have been in the hallway. That's the real issue.
Well, I remember a certain Denzel calling you about Ruby previous to her being not hired as chief. But I know
I'm telling you. I'm telling you,
I know
that
it's not. That's not the
shouldn't
only
have been
reason.
in the hallways.
But
It
I
got
did
fucking awkward
listen.
for
I
everybody.
still bitched at him about it. I'm like, Denzel,
It wasn't even him. No.
stay the fuck out of the way. Like, if Nino wants this is what Nino wants. You know.
Oh, with him, yeah.
Yeah, because he was upset about something with her, and like I told Viv, I think that all it means when somebody really wants a position and they don't get it, that there's another time that they have a chance to get it, right?
I agree.
And
You know,
maybe
you know
that
what?
wasn't
Do you know
her
what
time.
happened from my POV?
What?
Of course I wore a
I don't know if you have ever told you.
Can you and mom go
We don't
I think it
usually
was
call
a
them our
case of
children.
like,
Mommy Maxwell. We do say
this
we're
is what
mom.
we're thinking,
later, Pop?
but these are the requirements, and I think the requirements were kind of, I think she heard the first part, but not the disclaimer. And a big part of that disclaimer was, hell no Barrick, hell no Ruby.
Oh.
And there wasn't, for me, waiting. And it was like, it's going to be Ruby for my ass chief. I was just like, what the fuck?
I mean,
And I spent the,
I feel like it'd be different if she wasn't already ass chief and there was, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
yeah, we had history at the time.
Yeah.
I mean, the best way I can explain it is like, and it's one of those challenges too, because you can say no about someone, right? But it becomes a difficulty of like, how much do I have to explain how big the no
Well,
is?
having previous high
right?
command
Without
under
throwing
regular
that
command
other
is
person
weird,
under the bus even further.
but you just,
And for me, she was one of the core reasons I ran for mayor, when she refused to work with lawyers to provide FOIAs, protect them, even though so much wrong was taking place. It was the inherent notion that I'm very anti-thin blue line, and she represented that at the time. Something wrong was done law enforcement wise, and you're willing to protect to the extent of what most would, I think, rational people would consider a cover-up. I know what I'm describing today, not every cop realizes that difference, right? I don't mean like you shoot someone and you hide the bullet, but I'm talking slacks level shit, right? Everyone probably thought he was a great cop. 2 months it took, keep in mind, for it to come out that he illegally looked at Tilly's phone, right? Which is insane. And that 2 of his direct reports altered case files in order to attempt to keep their jobs and win in court. None of that would have they were protected. She was one of the protectors of them. And I want you to keep that in the back of your mind, that even though Slacks did that, and even though I forgot what the other 2's names were, it was Maeve and
Riker. Yeah. I felt bad for him. And you probably don't, but like,
he altered I did
no,
too,
and
then he altered the case file like days leading up to it.
I know. I feel so bad because
like I literally opened up with this guy. I went from hating him to like warming up, and then the guy goes and alters fucking report.
I know.
But where I'm going with this is, what they did was wrong.
I feel bad
but
for
they
Riker.
were enabled by their high command and command.
Right. Who
Like,
hung them out to fucking dry,
That is not true. That is not true. Let me ask you something, Maxwell. If you heard that somebody went and illegally looked at a suspect's phone, right? And that now this has been brought up to you, would you pretend it didn't happen? Or would you suspend them?
Have time for dinner anymore, you bubble.
No, I would suspend them, but I mean, again,
Exactly.
yeah, that whole situation, I was told, things that you know, the whole deleting of things in the report or changing it was not brought to my attention until later. Allegedly a lawyer told him to do, you know, I mean, it doesn't matter now, right? But the point is, he was like a newer officer and thought he was listening to command. I think had he not fucked with the report, he probably would have been in better standing with the PD.
Agreed.
Because he did what he was told by command.
Mm-hmm.
But I think when he found out, he should not have looked at it, even if Slack said this and went back and changed it. That's when he screwed himself. Because he was trying to not be fired, you know, at the time.
He started becoming an officer
let me
I
see
could
this
go
real
to
quick.
to help work out warrants. But it was the environment, right? I think. And to me, that was the key thing. It wasn't, you know, I hate the, because every guy's brought up with me, like, as if I got issues with Ruby as a person. No, it's the principle.
Well,
Is
right.
that-
Same. Well, that's the same for me. It's just about how she deals with certain things and the way that she deals with them. Like, obviously we do things very differently. I do have respect for her, but it's the same thing. I do not have an issue working with her, nor with anybody, because at the end
I was
of the
only
day,
joking about that, by the way.
yeah.
I wasn't.
No, I
trying to
just,
be serious.
well, so you know, though, I don't. Like, I feel like people just make shit up and then just spin it. And I don't, like, maybe she said something. I don't know. I'm going to be honest. I don't really give a
True.
fuck. I don't
Can
give
I
a
be
fuck.
honest with you?
She doesn't fuck with my shit.
I think within PD has like an issue, and I've noticed this, especially a lot with the last 3 weeks, these sort of conversations, is that I think people do something called stirring, but it's actually like worse. Is there actually, I think there's like let's just call it drama baiting, you know? Fuck
Yes.
stirring.
Yes.
Like, because there's stirring like what I just did, right?
Yeah.
We're like, oh, Ruby, that's a little stir, right? That's stirring. You're just stirring. But this is like, we're talking about taking like a fucking like 5,000 watt blender and throwing it in, right? Where it's like, I hear this, and then I go talk to Ruby. I'm like, yo, so I heard, you know, I heard Maxwell hates you. What's going on with that? You know what I'm saying?
I honestly feel like people do that, like, on the regular.
Yeah.
And then
But with serious shit too.
Right. But then I hear stuff like, you know, little bits here and there. And I'm like, well, how come nobody comes and says shit to my face? Like, nobody ever confronts me about anything. I don't understand if they're like, am I intimidating? You know, like, yes, I will get loud. But it's not me yelling. I'm just a loud person. And if I'm trying to get my point across, I don't know. Like, I get hyper sometimes. I don't know. I feel like people turn that into something it's not.
I think it's, I'm
I
going to
don't
go
know.
back to it, is stirring used to mean, like, stirring is funny, right? But like, it's for, you know, it's a moment, it's contained, person walks away, they know it was just, you know, for the lulls or whatever, right?
When it's not affecting your job, it's funny.
It's not affecting anything, right? But stirring, I think, also now means just like drama baiting, right?
Yeah.
Like intentionally doing it for your own, like, it's not a you and I joke, right? Where you're like in on
Right.
it afterwards. It's actually like, no, you are personally in, like, it's for you, but not for the other parties.
Right.
And I think a lot of times, it doesn't matter if it's just PD. It's like, for a lot of things, I think, is it'll get mixed in with like serious shit.
Yeah.
Like, okay, is it SBS? Is it serious? Like, we're talking about like, you know, hag charges, and we put the photo up, you know, and there's a photo of your fucking ass that the entire DOJ just saw, you know, that kind of shit.
I think some people do it intentionally and then play innocent. I think a
They
lot of people
pre-cry.
do that. And why? To make them look better than you? Like, fucking grow up. I just don't have time for that to give a fuck. Like, I graduated high school a minute ago. You know what I'm saying? Like, I am done. I
I-
I just don't
I
care.
don't think it's that. I don't think it's necessarily that malicious necessarily.
Oh,
I
I
think it's
absolutely believe some of it
insecurities
is.
and defensive mechanisms,
Yes.
or funny, trying to be funny, and then because there's not enough like like enough what's the word, like understanding of what's happening, right? Like there's enough critical thinking happening to realize the consequence of it. And that when you get caught out, it's like, oh my god, no, it's just for the lulz, haha. Like, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
but
Like, why are you mad?
There's
Why
also
you
the
mad,
ones who
dude?
are good at playing dumb like that, Nino, and I could see through bullshit. You know what I'm saying?
Really?
Like I speak bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like I see bullshit.
Mm.
Yes. I'll be honest, when I get that vibe from somebody, I distance myself. I'll deal with you when I need to, but I'm not talking to you about shit
Holy shit.
type
See,
shit.
I haven't experienced. I mean, I'm not in the PD. You know what I mean? But
Mhm.
damn, if
and listen, I can get along with anybody anywhere unless Peters is in the car because they fucking him or Denzel. But anybody anywhere, any block, any hood, whatever, right? I get conversations from people. People don't disrespect me. I mean, don't get me wrong, sometimes I get the attitudes and I give it back and then we're just like, okay, cool. But whenever I come across somebody that is like that and I feel it's intentional, usually I'm pretty right on and I just immediately distance myself and limit the interactions on purpose. It's just like a thing. And my job is too important to me to focus on that. So it's kind of like out of sight, out of mind for me, right? But it doesn't hinder what I do every day. I go on scenes. I respond to everybody. I tell people what they need to do. It does, like, I don't pussyfoot. I still do what I got to do, but I also just don't allow those people close to me at all.
That's smart. That is smart.
And then maybe they take it the wrong way, and I'm sorry, but I'm protecting myself.
Starring is when people are willing participants.
Listen, I think stirring's fun.
It is, but that's actual stirring.
But there's like the toxic shit that I don't care for.
No, you're not wrong.
Listen, I used to call Den the big spoon because that's literally all he fucking did was stir.
He did, but you knew it was. It was obvious what he was doing.
I know. That's why I told him he was the big. While I was riding with the fucking spoon all day.
Oh, I gotta go work on documents and shit.
Gross.
That's my life. It was a good chat.
Later, Nino.
Yeah, no one's getting replaced in high command.
Okay.
It's a big Jenga tower. And if I were to pull out a piece and move it around, the entire thing. If I pick tell me I'm wrong. If I pick another chief, it would be 2 months of them of all the people that had problems with all the people that are affected, all of a sudden they'd become best friends and they go into trauma like they get together in the vehicles and they trauma like
I already
bond.
witnessed it once. Please don't do it again.
Like, oh
No,
my
you're
god,
right.
I can't believe they got rid of you. Oh my god. Why would they? You were one of the best. Like, oh my god, or like, oh my god, you're now affected. Wait, wait, you don't want to be an LSPD now because like,
Oh my
this and this
God.
has changed? Oh my god. Come up to Blaine County. Or like, man, like, no. I'm not gonna. I've already seen what Peters and Moss had to go through. The amount of just straight words I'm not gonna say. But like,
What the fuck does that mean?
This is the better approach. Keep iterating.
Yeah. Well, I
Anyways.
mean, I don't have a, I don't, I support whatever you do. So
I appreciate it.
I'm here. I'll talk to you.
All right. See you soon, Chief.
See,
See, that was a start.
Yeah. Go fuck yourself, Nino.